Hi everyone, I'm Freeman, and on behalf of MDG, we bring you another episode of 3x5, that's 3 takeaways in 5 minutes. And on today's episode, we are joined by Anja Nikolaitis, MDG's International Marketing Specialist, to talk about virtual events become the new normal around the world and how to effectively reach your audience. So, Anja, let's talk about virtual events. How have you been navigating virtual events in the international space, and how can those offerings be leveraged to increase international attendance at live events?
Yeah, so I think before I get started with my answer, I want to just share because I think it's important. You know, I've had a number of conversations over the last couple of months with peers in the UK, Mexico, Germany, Brazil, India, China, and I think it's really important to note that there's universal consensus that hybrid events will be the new normal, and there's a lot of excitement around the possibilities for increasing engagement and participation. Um, Kind of building on that, I think it's no secret that actually international attendee acquisition for live events has always been somewhat challenging for obvious reasons, including the time and investment or expense related to international travel. For some countries, the US visa application process is a barrier. And when you remove those barriers, you have access to a wider group of markets and prospects.
What are some of the benefits of having these virtual events internationally? Are language barriers less of an issue when using virtual platforms?
I think people are really excited about the possibility of being able to diversify and expand education offerings to attract more attendees. So with these virtual platforms, obviously borders and language barriers are less of an issue. And that empowers organizers to feature speakers from all over the world, offer education tracks in multiple languages, and so when you consider the possibilities for international marketing, it's awesome because you can capture all that content, package it into on-demand offerings that can be used to support your marketing efforts 365 days a year to build audience share.
So if people leave with 3 main takeaways about virtual events in the international space, Anja, what would they be?
Sure. So this is what I would say. One would be hybrid events are where it's at. They're going to emerge as the new norm across all international markets. So they're worth the investment now. Um, there's a lot to be said for virtual event offerings, that it removes traditional barriers to participation that we've seen in the live events, and will give you access to a wider pool of markets and attendees and data, frankly. And then I think the third thing I would stress is that the investment in providing virtual offerings as a complement to live events is the content, the wealth of content that can emerge out of that, and can be packaged for your supporting your international marketing efforts and building audience share. So all good stuff.
This has been very insightful, Anja. Thank you for your time, and thank you to everybody else for tuning in to this episode of 3x5. That's 3 takeaways in 5 minutes. Thank you for watching.